Welcome to our Easter Sunday reflection. I hope your day has started well and that you're keeping safe through this time. This last week has been a strange one in many ways. I think one in which we have begun to get over the initial shock of being in lockdown and begun to settle into new routines. Perhaps a bit less anxious than we were before, despite the queues at the supermarket and having to keep your distance. Folk accepting that that is the way it has to be just now. Although it's also been a week when the full impact of the coronavirus has begun to take hold, and we've seen the risks that the NHS workers are taking at the front line. A deeper appreciation of that this week, and of them. That appreciation very much emerging. In so many ways it makes staying at home or queuing for the supermarket pale into insignificance. Or for me this week, getting my hair cut by Jane rather than the hairdresser. One of the things I know that people are missing though is seeing others, and I asked a few folk around the church to send me some pictures so that I could include them this morning. So before we start our reflection, here is what people sent me. Some pictures and some Easter displays. I'm not sure what Mary was doing there as the Easter bunny, but it's nice just to see faces, isn't it? So thanks for those. And if you want to send some photos or even some short videos, we'll try and include some of those each week. Alongside all of those changes though, we're trying to keep as much as we can going. And in church life that's been true as well as everywhere else. So this week has been a week that we have been walking through the Easter story. A week packed with emotions, poignant moments all the way through that take your breath away, that catch you again, even though you've heard them before. And over the last few days, we followed Jesus from the upper room, from there to the garden, to his trial, and then from there to the cross on Calvary. We followed Jesus all that way to his death on the cross. And after his death, Mark tells us what happened. It was toward evening when Joseph of Arimathea arrived. It was preparation day, that is the day before the Sabbath. So Joseph went boldly into the presence of Pilate and asked him for the body of Jesus. Pilate was surprised to hear that Jesus was already dead. He called the army officer and asked him if Jesus had been dead a long time. After hearing the officer's report, Pilate told Joseph he could have the body. Joseph bought a linen sheet, took the body down, wrapped it in the sheet and placed it in a tomb which had been dug out of solid rock. Then he rolled a large stone across the entrance to the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, were watching and saw where the body of Jesus was placed. Jesus laid in a tomb. And then comes a day of silence. Not a whisper. Not a murmur. Nothing. All hope is gone. Or so it seems. Someone described it to me this week as lockdown for them. They were afraid to go out. Not because of a fear of what they might catch or what they might pass on, but out of a fear that they too would be killed like Jesus. And so they locked themselves down, hid themselves away. Lockdown. Where was God in this? Then Mark's write this. After the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome bought spices to go and anoint the body of Jesus. Very early on Sunday morning at sunrise they went to the tomb. On the way they said to one another, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" It was a very large stone. Then they looked up and saw that the stone had already been rolled back. So they entered the tomb, where they saw a young man sitting at the right, wearing a white robe, and they were alarmed. "Don't be alarmed," he said. "I know you are looking for Jesus of Nazareth who was crucified. He is not here. He has been raised. Look, here is the place where he was placed. Now go and give this message to his disciples, including Peter. He is going to Galilee ahead of you. There you will see him, just as he told you." So they went out and ran from the tomb, distressed and terrified. They said nothing to anyone because they were afraid. It's interesting that we think that's where the Gospel of Mark originally ended, because people knew the rest of the story and didn't need it. But the initial reaction of the women in that moment is intriguing. It's not one of unadulterated joy or celebration. It's one of confusion and even fear. And I wonder if they were afraid to hope again. The hope that they had invested in Jesus seemed to have gone, to be crushed, destroyed. And they weren't ready in an instant to bounce back. And you see that not just in them, but in the others too, when they began to tell them, as they got over that initial fear, they have to work it through. Hope is almost a seed that grows, that takes root slowly, but that changes us completely. Undoubtedly, that's what happens for them as they meet and talk and share together, as Jesus appears to the disciples in the upper room, as he appears to them again by the lakeside. Something is rekindled and restored. The seed of hope bears fruit and grows. I pray that God will stir that in you this Easter, in the midst of all that we see and all that we know. With Easter comes hope. Here's the banner at the church. With Easter comes hope. And I pray that God will stir that hope in you. Shall we pray? Lord, you are the one who breathes new life, who shines light in the darkness and brings hope in the midst of despair. We thank you for the resurrection of Jesus, for all it speaks into our lives just now, for all it stirs in us. And so may the joy of this Easter somehow flood our lives and bring your peace. Amen.